30 years ago, Europe was different than it is now. After the fall of Soviet Union and reunification of Germany, a mass migration started within European continent. People from the Eastern Bloc were moving to the Western ones to buy goods that they could then resell back at East for multiple times of profit. Initially it was clothes, toys, electronics, often even basic things like toilet paper and hygiene products. With the trade evolving, people realized the untapped potential of moving cars from Western Bloc countries into the Eastern Bloc. So many trade routes were established from places like Essen and Bokel in Germany to Warsaw, Vilnius, Riga and Minsk. Many people still remember the legendary used car markets of Rumbulla, Gariūnai, Malinovka, where people often slept in their cars for days until they found a buyer. One of the most popular car types of that time was Touring, or Universal as it was called in Eastern Europe, or Kombi as it was called here in Germany. One of the first Tourings that were moving goods from the Western Bloc countries back into the Eastern Bloc were Audi 100, Volkswagen Passat, BMW E34, the old Mercedes-Benz E-Class that were doing their weekly runs to bring the goods for a resale. Years have passed, Europe has changed, and touring is still a symbol of practicality in many hard-working European families. But is it fun though? Of course, you have the flagman of the touring, Audi RS6, you have the smaller brother, RS4, you have the Autobahn King, Mercedes-Benz E-Class 6.3 AMG, you have more budget-friendly version, Skoda Octavia VRS. Some of you maybe even remember the 90s, the BMW E34 M3 Touring, which was roughly 891 specimen produced and is one of the most sought of and rarest BMWs these days. 30 years have passed and BMW has come up with one of their wildest ideas, to dethrone the king of sports estates and make the touring fun again. I didn't talk about the unification of Europe without a reason. For today's filming I have chosen one of the nicest roads in the north of the Europe between two towns, Lauenburg and Boizenburg. Although only 10 kilometers apart, they have been separated by what formerly was known as the East and the West Germany by the border for more than 50 years. 30 years later, after unification of the Germany, I think it's a perfect spot for us to review this BMW M3 Touring. Just take a listen to how it sounds on a start. Bellissimo. As you might see, we have done a quick car swap because I needed to grab some stuff for my drone. But one thing I have a little bit problem with when watching M3 Touring review videos is the term dad car that sometimes people tend to call it. Is it somewhat practical? Yes. Is it somewhat subtle, somewhat sleek? Also yes. Can it smoke 97-98% of the traffic? Absolutely yes. 510 horsepower, 650 Newton meters. For me, and in my book of business, it hardly goes together with the term that car. So I think it's a little bit in a unique place by itself with other Tourings for people who enjoy Tourings as such, preferably fast ones. Whether it's RS4, whether it's RS6, whether it is Porsche Panamera Cross Turismo, whether it's Porsche Taycan Sport Turismo, or more budget-friendly Skoda VRS. It's simply a car for people who tend to like Tourings, preferably fast ones, and sometimes they happen to be that. One thing that people don't talk about too much when reviewing these cars is the build quality, the materials used by BMW, the finishing, the leather, the aluminium, the soft touch, the tactile touch. It's amazing. Maybe not on S-Class levels, and it has maybe, I'm not a big fan as always of this piano black plastic, but overall it's wonderful. It's something that me personally I wouldn't expect from BMW, and not even from their M lineup. It's maybe a 7 Series, but definitely not something I would see in a M3 Touring, and I have to say it's absolutely amazing. I have chosen for a reason the cobbliest roads in Lauenburg, and I have to say it is quite tough ride with the suspension that M3 Touring provides. It's definitely, I've been a little bit spoiled, of course, with the Macan and so on, but I can tell you that it's definitely much more harsher than your average 5 Series or 3 Series, even if you're going in a comfort mode. It is quite stiff, and I can tell you this is not even the worst road of the alls when it comes to the cobblestone. And there's a kid who just fell down. Oh, he's a tough one. He's gonna let it slide. Besides the practicality of the car, which we have discussed quite a lot, I think this is a pure BMW M specimen. The purists might say, oh, it's not E46 CSL, it's not G80 M5, but this car is everything you want it to be. Oh, what it does is immaculate. You press the pedal and it turns from the car in which you can pick your child from the Sunday football match, and few hours later you can be participant of the midnight drag race club or secret drifting society for that. It doesn't matter. This car doesn't limit you to anything. It literally can be whatever you make it to be, and it depends only of you as a driver. Car is not limiting you to whatsoever by any means. What is interesting about this car is that absolutely brand new. It has been bought in Munich, has been brought to Hamburg, and it has had one travel beyond that, and this is its third trip. And actually the guys who had imported, or actually purchased this car, you don't have to import it, they are also the owners of the first BMW M3 Touring, and they were the ones who received it already in October, and that was the first BMW M3 Touring in the world. So thanks for them. I mean, I'm happy that I have this possibility to drive this car, and as I have said, it is absolutely spectacular. And by no means I think you should talk about this car as I initially said that some have referred to it as a dad car. It is an absolute killer of a machine from the quick press of the pedal. Driving the small town roads of Lauenburg is absolutely lovely, but the only problem is it's really giving the BMW M3 Touring suspension a run for its money. The ones who say and claim that this is a daily driver for them, it's absolutely fine, but I think you have to define what is a daily driver and where and how do you use it. Oh yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna drive there. Can I drive there? I think I can. Let me try. I think I can go there because these roads are it's just lovely. Well, I see some cars and I hope I can drive there too, but they are absolutely stunning. Okay. People are looking weird at me. Probably. It's okay. People are looking weird at me. In the middle of the evening, it's already getting late. I'm driving M3 Touring in a small town. I mean, by some, I think it's even a village, but I will call it a town because I come from a small place. And I can tell you one thing for sure. People like and people look at the M3 Touring like it is something special. You don't see one every day on the road. It looks good. On some level it looks good. I mean, it looks interesting. I think that is the correct term. Alright, I'm back. First of all, my car died because it's basically full. And second of all, don't trust technologies the same way I do. Google said that there's a quicker road to go home because it's already late and I want to finish the video. And it suggested me to go through the old town of Lauenburg, and clearly there's a road, there's a car there. But what it didn't tell me that there is a bollard at the end of the street which you can only operate if you have a remote control. So basically I had to back up I don't know, 300, 400 meters back from the street, and I was greeted by the locals. They seemed happy. I would assume I'm not the first idiot who has done that, but overall I'm happy. I'm out. I'm calling it day today, and it's been absolutely pleasure to film this video and drive this car. I think this is a great place where to end our story. Checkpoint Harry, which 30 years ago was the border crossing point between East and West Germany, between the two towns of Lauenburg and Boizenburg. 30 years later, it's a cafe with some memorabilia, serving as a reminder to many, including myself, that not so long ago, price of many things was completely different from what it is now. As what comes to the car, I think it's an absolute wonderful jack of all trades. And if someone says what fits everything doesn't fit anything, he definitely hasn't driven the BMW M3 Touring. With me driving into the golden hour, the initial question still stands. Is BMW M3 Touring enough to dethrone Audi RS6? Is it powerful? Is it swift? Is it nimble? Is it absolutely stunning, borderline crazy car that rewards risk? Yes, definitely. But one thing we often tend to forget with the newer things is where the old glory stands. The Audi RS6 has been around for 20 years, the C5 times, and it has the Audi future technologies, it has the flagman design, and what is important for many markets, especially in the north, it still has the Quattro technology. You can, tell about that BMW X-Drive is breathing on the neck, and I completely agree with you. But Quattro still is the choice in many markets, and it has the pedigree since early 1980s, if I remember correctly. What BMW has done with the M3 Touring is amazing. They have taken a legitimate shot at the king of Tourings, RS6. And that's beautiful. The only problem I have, often the beauty is not enough. People look at me like I'm crazy while talking to myself, which I think could be quite odd. But hey, that's the life of the talking heads. Hi. If you're watching this, it means two things. You have managed until the end of the video, which makes me very happy, and I'm off to my day-to-day dad things. Just wanted to thank you that you have still subscribing, you're watching my material, and I'm thankful for every new subscriber and also the retaining ones. I just wanted to let you know that in parallel I have also created an Instagram account. I'll leave the link below in the description, where I post my day-to-day updates regarding filming, regarding the cars, regarding the updates regarding the channel. So if you have some time and you could take a look, I would be more than happy. Until next time.